Hello, this is Chuck Carnevale, and I'm the Chuck in the Markets Up Chuck. And today's blog was kind of in the spirit of the shopping season being underway for the holidays, and I called it low fashion because, obviously there are a lot of publicly traded specialty retail stores, especially in women's fashion, that from time to time can be very, very hot and get very, very attractive. I'm going to start by taking a look at Chico's, and I want to show you this during a period where this company was extremely popular. It's a woman's fashion store, and I want you to notice that earnings growth was spectacular during this period of time, as you can see by the green line. The black line is the monthly closing stock prices. So Chico's, did very, very well as an operating business. Their earnings growth was exceptional, averaged over 31% a year, and the stock price pretty much tracked that with the normal volatility you're going to see, but you can see it really followed it very closely and kind of got overvalued here towards the end of 2005 here. And the point of the story is that at this juncture, investors in Chico's did extremely well. A $100,000 investment, believe it or not, would have actually turned into $9 million, averaging over 40% a year during a period when the S&P 500 did actually pretty well by historic standards, was averaging over 8% a year. So this was an extremely hot concept, and extremely hot stock. But fashions can be very faddish, and fashion can go out of style as quickly as it comes into style. Let's take a look at a different period here for Chico's. Here I simply updated this chart to bring it to current. Again, this is going from 1993 to current. I want you to notice that this is the period that I was showing you earlier where the company did extremely well. Then look what happened to earnings. Earnings fell off of a cliff, and as a result of the earnings falling off of a cliff, the stock price did as well. It went from a high of $46.32 all the way down to under $4 a share. And the point is that once this company kind of lost its its mojo, so to speak, the earnings collapsed, and so did stock price. So you've got to be very, very careful with fashion companies. I want to take a look at a couple of other examples, and really the main point that I'm always making, and I'm trying to make here with this particular set of companies, are the fact that there are periods where the earnings can be very good, and I don't want investors to be lulled into sleep. When the earnings are good and the company's doing well, stock price tends to do well too. But when the earnings, fall out of favor, the company's stock price can fall out of favor just as quickly, as you can see here by looking at Charming Shops, which was also, very, very hot from the period 2003 up through 2006 until we kind of hit the recession and the earnings collapsed. Abercrombie & Fitch is another example of this was kind of more of a team fashion. This company did extremely well from 1998 all the way up through, towards really the beginning of 2008 until it hit the recession and earnings fell, and then the stock price, collapsed, went from 85 down to 13. So, what you're dealing with here are companies that are, not necessarily essential, and I want to make that distinction. When you're looking at companies that are very faddish or fashionable like this, when the earnings are good, the stocks can do very, very well, but you got to always be paying attention because in the long run, earnings determine market price, always have and always will, and you can see that very clearly by these examples. So, I just thought you might want to take a look at some of the more popular names in the fashion industry. It's a very tough industry, as you can see, but on the other hand, during periods when the industry or the company is in favor, they can be very, very rewarding as well. But as I always do, your own homework. Is Chuck Carnevale saying thanks for listening. Talk to you again tomorrow.